Hi, my name's Debbie and I work for Cheshire Libraries, and I'd like to tell you about a book that I love. My book is Broken Greek by Pete Paphides and published by Quercus. It's a coming-of-age memoir about Takis Paphides, his family growing up in Birmingham as part of a Greek Cypriot family in the Britain of the 1970s and early 1980s. And it's all mixed up with the pop music he was listening to and the fish and chip shops run by his parents. And I was introduced to this book by my husband, who throughout the early part of lockdown would always be found laughing out loud whilst reading this, and he insisted that I read it next. And I was a little bit apprehensive because it's written by a music journalist, and I'm always a bit worried that music journalists can be a little bit snobby and exclusive about the kinds of music you should listen to. And while I'm kind of aware that nearly all the music I listen to as an adult is somehow connected to or informed by punk, it was something that at the age of 5 when it happened, and while Johnny Rotten was the Antichrist, I loved ABBA. However, it turns out Pete's alright. He also loved ABBA. He delights in a warts and all musical journey. He loves Brotherhood of Man, the Barren Knights, Grease, the Wombles, and a band I can't remember called Racy. So I decided to listen to all the songs mentioned so that I could have a multi-sensory approach to reading. And I dutifully started to list all of the songs that were mentioned. But so I found out that someone had got there before me, and actually there's Spotify lists and YouTube lists of many of the songs from Broken Greek, and I can definitely recommend this approach. I knew most of the music, and there's a few things that passed me by, and I didn't particularly remember the Barren Knights, but my husband's first single, bought in a department store in Portsmouth, was A Taste of Aggro by the Barren Knights, just the same as Pete's. He insisted that it became part of this review. Throughout, he gives us context to the bands and the songs mentioned, and I have very much a child's view of this time, so I'd never realised that Grease Lightning from the Grease soundtrack is actually quite rude if you listen to the lyrics properly. I'd never considered how madness might manage to be quite so manic and riotous on children's Saturday morning television shows, and I had no idea of the aching truth of the breakdown of marriages documented in ABBA songs. But Takis was a sensitive child who does pick up on all of these emotions, and when we first meet him, he's selectively mute, refusing to talk to anyone outside his immediate family, which makes friendships in school rather difficult. And although he does eventually start to list, we follow the sort of childhood fears of relationships and friendships, his place in the world, the fact that he's not really very good at football. He worries that his parents might reject him once they realise that this little English child who wants to be called Peter cannot possibly be theirs. But balancing out the worries that Takis has, he's also got quite a charming optimism and a kind of crazy kid logic. He's pretty sure that when he's rejected by his parents, that someone like Agneta or Anna Fried from ABBA, or maybe Olivia Newton-John, will just swoop him up into their arms and mother him. So the book takes us all the way through to adolescence, where Pete struggles to find the thing, the band that belongs to him and who he can identify and whose swagger he can copy. His older brother, Aki, owns the Teardrop Explodes, but throughout the book we see him learning about the pitfalls of laying your loyalty at the feet of the wrong band, and we wait to find out if he finds out where he belongs and see if he will join anyone's tribe. I'm not sure, having read this, if I really need to listen to any more ABBA for a while, but the thing that I really take away from this book is just how obsessed I also used to be with music, and it's something that I've kind of lost along the way. I've made a promise to myself to find time each week to listen to something either new or something that I haven't listened to in an age. I've started off with Joy Division, and I think I might do Adam and the Ants next. Thank you for listening, and look out for more books we love.